Hello Eurovision friends, thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. Today I want to restart a series that I did last year as well, and these are my chart updates. We will look at how the songs of Eurovision 2024 are doing on the official charts and also on platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. And people are very obsessed with the streams and how many streams a song gets, but I think that chart positions are actually a better indication of success at Eurovision because, for example, if we look at Italy, they're usually the song with the most streams because, of course, they sent the Sanremo winner. They're a big country. Lots of Italians listen to the song, and so the streaming numbers go up. But of course, Italians cannot vote for their own song in Eurovision. So let's get right to it. A lot of songs are doing really well in their own countries already. And so I wanted to look at a few of the official singles charts and then later on look at the streaming platforms and YouTube and other things as well. Now, first of all, I want to talk about Marina Satti, who has really achieved a great success in Greece. She has today been announced as the #1 on the Greek singles chart once again. She's been #1 for 3 weeks now, and she has also gotten a platinum disc for the equivalent sales, I guess, in Greece. Greece kind of divides their singles chart into a local singles chart and an international singles chart, but still being #1 for 3 weeks in a row since the song was released really is a great success, and congratulations to her. Then the other one that is really, really successful is Joost Klein. He has been #1 in the Netherlands for 4 straight weeks now. Amazing streaming numbers as well. And then in Belgium, that's why you have 2 flags. You have the Flanders singles chart and the Walloon singles chart. Wallonia is the part that speaks French, and Flanders is the part that speaks Flemish or Dutch. And so in Flanders, he's been #1 for 4 straight weeks since the time the song was released. And in Wallonia, the song has not charted yet, but that might happen at some point. The next song that has reached #1 in their country, or in this case in the country that they are representing, is Marquez and Martinez with Unforgettable. They were 4th in Sweden, then #1 after winning Melodifestivalen, 2nd and now in 3rd place. And they have also managed to chart in Norway, 26th and 28th position. I'm sure that will the song will re-enter the Norwegian singles chart once we approach Eurovision week. Great success, but for Melodifestivalen winners, that's kind of a given almost that they are #1 in Sweden the week after the final. Now, I also wanted to look at Angelina Mango. Great success as well, even though for a Sanremo winner, it's not that amazing because she hasn't been #1 in Italy. She was 4th for 4 straight weeks, then 6th and 5th and 6th and now 8th. And this thing that is kind of surprising is that the other songs that are above her, there are a few Sanremo songs that are doing better than La Noia. Geolier, of course, who won the televote with a giant margin, but also Mahmoud, Annalisa, and even Gali with Casamia are currently above her in the charts. But I don't know how much we can read into that for Eurovision. I mean, she's still one of the favorites. But when we look at the charts, Italians actually prefer to listen to and to buy other songs from Sanremo to this one. It also managed to chart in Switzerland. 11th was the highest position. Of course, there's an Italian-speaking part in Switzerland, which also watches Sanremo. However, she's been very successful as she has gotten 2 platinum discs in Italy as well for this song. So congratulations to her. Musti has been doing quite well in Flanders. The song managed to enter the top 10 briefly and is still in the top 30. And in Wallonia, it's also in the top 30. So quite a good success for him. And Eurovision week hasn't even started yet, and there was no national final that really made people notice the song. So being in the top 30 at this point is quite good, I think. Now let's look at the streams. I've said that they are not a great indication because most of these streams come from the countries the artists represent. So we have Europapa with around 500,000 streams a day. We have La Noia with a bit under 500,000 streams a day. Unforgettable, 200,000. Zari, 160,000. And Mon Amour, which is quite impressive, I think, because it has been out for such a long time, since November, with 140,000. So let's look at the current standings in some of these platforms, YouTube, Spotify, and so on, and look at Joost Klein, because this is the one that everyone talks about how successful it is. And that's true. He's #1 in the Netherlands on Spotify, #2 in Belgium, on Apple Music, #2 in the Netherlands, and #7 in Belgium, and on iTunes, still #3 in the Netherlands, and #8 in Belgium. But you can really see the success of this song, and it has charted on some of these platforms in the Baltic countries, in Austria and Switzerland as well. But when we look at the YouTube numbers at the moment, it's #1 in Belgium, #1 in the Netherlands, but it also manages to chart 22nd in Iceland, 24th in Sweden, 54th in Estonia, and 58th in Finland. So the Nordic Baltic region are also fans of Joost Klein, and no other song from this year is doing this well on YouTube at this point, which might be an indication that this is maybe doing really, really well in the televote. We shall see how the chart positions develop as we approach Eurovision week. Please subscribe if you don't want to miss that, by the way. Then I also have Angelina Mango, mostly charting in Italy. On Spotify, as I've said, Mahmoud, Annalisa, Geolier are all above her. #5 on YouTube, which is pretty good. #14 in iTunes, and 11 in Apple Music. And in Switzerland, she's between 56th, 47th, doing relatively well, but not outstanding at this point. But again, this might change as we approach Eurovision week. Then I also have Marina Satti. Unsurprisingly, there are 2 countries where she's doing really well. #1 on YouTube in Greece. Of course, the video is really fun to watch, so people are doing that. #2 on Spotify, and #2 on Apple Music in Greece. But she also manages to be #3 in Cyprus on all of these platforms. So congratulations to her again. Then we have Marcus and Martinez with Unforgettable doing really well on Apple Music in Sweden. They're #1 there, #5 on Spotify, and #4 on YouTube, but they're also doing well in their own country. 84th on Spotify in Norway, 41st on Apple Music in Norway, and they're also charting in Finland, 143rd, but still we can mention it at least. Then we have Slimane with Mon Amour, who's been doing really well, charting on the French official singles chart throughout all of these months that the song has been revealed. Not really that high, but doing pretty well. He's 70th on Spotify, 35th on YouTube, 15th on iTunes, and 101st on Apple Music in France. But as you can see, also doing well in Belgium, 35th on YouTube in Belgium, and 120th on Apple Music. All of this might change, of course. Jerry Hall and Alyona Alyona are another case that are charting in more countries than their own. They are doing well in Ukraine, of course, 6th on Spotify, 5th on YouTube, and 2nd on Apple Music. They were #1 on Spotify for quite a long time, actually. But they're also doing well, relatively well in Lithuania, 190th on Spotify, 79th on Apple Music, and Poland, 85th. So they're actually charting in 3 different countries. Then we have Sylvester Belt. According to the official website of the Eurovision Broadcasting Union, he has been #1 in Lithuania for 7 straight weeks, but I couldn't find a singles chart. So if you guys know where to find it, let me know, and I'll include it in the next video, which of course is a great success. And he's still doing well right this moment. 3rd on Spotify in Lithuania, 3rd on Apple Music as well, and 4th on YouTube. So I think Lithuanians are quite happy with their entry. Then we have the big favorite to win this year. Of course, Switzerland has overtaken Croatia in the odds, and Nemo is currently 83rd on Apple Music in Switzerland and 6th on iTunes. But Nemo hasn't really appeared on Spotify or any other platforms. We shall see whether that changes soon. Then Musti is doing relatively well in Belgium, 30th on iTunes, and around 150th on Spotify and Apple Music. But now we are entering the songs that are mostly only doing well in their own countries. Baby Lasagna is doing really well in Croatia, 2nd on YouTube, 69th on Apple Music. If I remember correctly, people don't really use Spotify, but more listen to music on YouTube, so it makes sense that he's #2 on YouTube there. and not appearing on Spotify. Eden Golan is doing really well in Israel. At the moment, 6th on Spotify. She used to be number 1, 11th on Apple Music, and 6th on YouTube as well. And then last but not least, I wanted to mention Ole Alexander because people have been criticizing me for putting him quite low in my personal ranking, which is my opinion, but also not predicting that he will do particularly well. And I just think if you have a song that is so geared towards chart success, and he's had some performances on British television, and it hasn't really charted. It's only 146 on iTunes in the UK, not on Spotify. I don't know whether that might be an indication that it's not the winning song, at least this year. So that's why I wanted to mention that. This is my chart update. Thank you for listening. I had recorded this before and I forgot to turn on the microphone. So now I said everything again. I hope I didn't forget anything the second time. Do subscribe to this channel. There will be chart updates regularly. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I am looking forward to seeing you for another video. And please leave your comments with recommendations where I can find more chart data. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.